Good afternoon, everyone. We have another clue as to why the world is changing right now. Once in a 200-year cycle, energetics, stock markets depend on it, government technologies moving forward with it. And you'll understand this pivot point is right here, right now, for the next 20 years. What kind of change do you think is going to occur? Let's look at it. And bringing you the late night research session, Pluto in Aquarius. Now, well, hold on. I know some of you are like, oh, the astrology. But this is a once in a 200-year cycle that dictates how governments around the world are moving different plans into place based on this energetic cycle. J.P. Morgan, a quote no less, millionaires don't use astrology, the billionaires do. So let's look at this Pluto in Aquarius history here. A once in a 225-year cycle, and I would encourage you to take a look at the different chapters of history and what had occurred. Now, obviously the 1777, as well as the French Revolution, and we go further back in time. 1041 to 1063, the Catholic Church breaks, Orthodox Church battles. And all these different chapters are governmental change and technology change that accompany it. So I was doing a little more research here. Historically, these transits coincide with moments of profound societal change. Is it being guided, or is this the plan? New technology, social platforms, and revolutionary ideas emerge. So if we're looking at new technologies, are we not seeing that everywhere across the planet? Are we not seeing the most vast amount of change we've seen in 100 years anyway occurring? Is it on this cycle and it's already been planned and baked in? Now the movement starts. One of the most profound shifts will likely be the realm of technology. It keeps coming back to this technology again. The sign of the future, transforming energies. And if you've been half awake, you can see specifically in these last 4 to 5 years, the ramp up and the absolute light speed going into hyperdrive that we're experiencing. Now, one thing that's coming on, the central bank digital currencies, you ask why now? The technology was robust enough years ago to implement, but now we have a new currency system starting, the BRICS, all based on new technology, distributed ledger technology. And coincidentally, BRICS starts with BRICS Bridge. You're telling me all this is starting right now and it just random happenstance? I can't believe it. The more I delved into this, the more I know it is a planned movement of society using the energetic changes, riding on top of this. Distributed ledger technology, BRICS Bridge, a way to enable local currency transactions, potentially with CBDCs. Or is it a basket of native currencies? And then BRICS Pay is like, well, you consider top-up cards or tap-pay cards. They're already at this phase here. Now, just a quick DLT. It's nothing more than a ledger that is running on multiple nodes where all of the transactions are matched. You can't change one without the other ones not trying to match that. That's how they know immutable, unchangeable, and look through time as we've come from stone into this vast new technology. Again, it does fit the perfect description of what's happening now. It turns out the key to losing weight and keeping it off is not carbs or fat or even probiotic-rich foods. Nope. The end game of having a healthy weight as well as more energy and a long, healthy life comes down to a specific switch which you can flip in your body to flush out unnecessary calories. Dr. Stephen Gundry is calling this caloric bypass. And by activating this specific process in your body, he's seen thousands, yes, thousands of people dramatically improve their health, even at age 50 and beyond. This includes losing weight, getting tons more energy, and returning to the good health that they had in their youth once they simply addressed this one key to better health. Dr. Stephen Gundry has lost 70 pounds himself using this research and has kept the weight off for over 20 years and counting. His digestive issues are gone, his health is fantastic, and he feels younger and healthier today than he did in his 40s. His video has been watched by over 20 million people to date, and you can watch and learn more about it at thehealthyfat.com/adapt. And he'll teach you exactly how he's kept his weight off for free at thehealthyfat.com/adapt. Click on that link in the description box below. And now on with the video. A little bit further and wider into the article here, the local currency transactions, all these BRICS nations using mBridge specifically for Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, China, to trade amongst themselves. And there are endless articles about Bank for International Settlements handing this over, letting it go live. If there's any problems, give us a call back. Clearing and depositories, international trade, stable coins from Russia, cross-border payments amongst the BRICS, and all this new tech rolling out right this second. We kept asking why now? Well, part of the answer is emerging. So one of the things that a lot of people were talking about also was, how is the new BRICS unit going to be pegged against something else? Well, perhaps it's not. It only needs to be quoted against intermediate tokens, whether it be dollars, special drawing rights from the IMF, gold, and then everything will have par value, and that's what the quote will be. They're trying to envelop 180 global currencies into this, and the tip of the iceberg is the first 28 cross-currency pairs already going live, and you say, wow, I'm not hearing about this in the news, nor am I. You really need to dig for this. Now, the uses for distributed ledger technology, DLT, secure identities, oh my, have we just heard endlessly about we're going to need these new digital IDs to move forward with non-trust and verify. Yeah, it's just endless in the news. We're going to need this to move forward with our banking. Property records are going to be on this. Everything's going to be digitized. Smart contracts, that's the way all of our property transactions and international shipping logistics and transference of companies are going to occur, all on the same system. Now, when you start to look at Cargill backing agribusiness, Covantis private DLT, all right, so they're going to wrap all of our agriculture into this as well on the same system. You know it's for real. And I'll come back to it and I say, why now with this huge ramp up and rollout at the exact same time in this same years that this cycle is started? Grand solar minimum aside, we're talking another cycle that's interlooping into it. We talk about the 11-year solar cycle, which I'm going to in just a second. 225-year cycle here, this Pluto Aquarius. And then we have the grand solar minimum cycle on a 400-year. That's a minimum of 3 cycles in play right now. Would you not know that in advance and plan for the rollout when the energies are perfect for the adoption of these new technologies? The overthrow of old systems. And if you ask yourself, why now? This is why now. Right now. The entire world is going to shift and in is absolutely steamrolling motion to this. If you can't see, the world's going to be digitized and it's going to run on the same system. That's the next step. But I digress. To the energies, trade the sun. Sunspot activity in NASDAQ. This is a well-known cycle. This has been traded on since what, 1940s? They were aware of it in the 1920s and 30s. Solar activity highs, as in the 11-year solar maximums, usually coincide with market tops. So if you go back to the year 1902, black lines are exactly where the market tops were. It shows you the line above, market top 1929, 1906. Oh, wasn't that when it collapsed and Morgan had to come in and bail out our government, and that was the formation of the Federal Reserve? Yep, that market peak. And you can see all the peaks subsequently, whether it's stocks or commodities. And it's interesting, it's not exact, but it's very close to market tops. And I have some charts for you. Also, moon phases dictate energies within the markets themselves. So now we even have a smaller cycle on a 30-day cycle, intertwined with these longer 11 years, 225-year, and 400-year cycles. Now we're starting to, you see the overlap. It's like a Swiss watch here. Green, full moon, energetics, new moon, red, market correction. So I thought I'd bring you a tabular form here. A solar peak, solar cycle 23, the year 2000. And that was right at exactly the market top. That's one of the most precise ones. Solar cycle 22 going back 5 months after the peak. Solar cycle 21, they're putting it between 1 and 5 months. Solar cycle 20 on the right side, exactly again right at the peak at 1968. Market peaked. Solar cycle 19, that was a gargantuan one. 12 months after, so within a year. And then you got 5 months after for solar cycle 18, 3 months after for solar cycle 17, and it does continue 16, 15, 14. And you look 17 months after, that's a little more than a year, average is 6 months. And solar cycle 14, interestingly, 1 month before. So it makes us look out with all of the scattered red busting through there. Take a look at where your solar peaks are and match them back up with the market tops. Now, not financial advice at all. This is just cyclic knowledge, very much encoded into how our world is working. And you see these same ups and downs of the history of our nation and the planet running on this same cycle. Not running on it, forced and planned on it. So if we're coming to the solar maximum, should not we be at a market top and a change right now as we enter into the next phase of this cycle? Here we are. Cislo's bringing this one out, brings us up to the latest. Look at that gargantuan above 275 sunspots. Wow. This is going to go probably to a double peak, but you can see the gradual drop off into 2025. So this is just an estimate, predictions, but all the predictions have been wrong so far. But looking out at the last of solar maximums, solar minimums, taking us back to 1950, you'll notice one thing. There's usually a double top noticeable that gets out of the scatter. We're at the first top right now. Second top should be arriving somewhere around, what's that look like? End of 2025, September, October. Interestingly enough, enter the bull market, not financial advice, crypto bull running. And you know what? It's all poised to peak in 2025 between August and October. I figure the previous Bitcoin cycles, again, not financial advice, just cycles. Look at the cycles. This is about the cycles that are written in and driven in that move money across the planet and bring new plans for the populace to adhere to. This is off Real Vision. Thank you, Raul, for letting me use the chart here. Notice where you get to the boring zone, you get those pullbacks, then wham, banana zone. Crazy bananas going ape, as they would say. We are just entering that. You see the dotted arrows there. We are right at the cusp right now. And if we do look cyclically at this Bitcoin halving cycle, in addition to the solar cycles, in addition to the Pluto Aquarius cycle, in addition to crop losses from the grand solar minimum cycles, it takes us to the red line. September 15th, 2025. Too quirky. It matches too much. I can absolutely see there's this facet of global control that was overlooked and missed. Now a lot more pieces seem to fit in place. So at least you can use this. And I encourage you to do your own research on solar activity, market tops, market exuberance, and also how the full moon or the new moon plays right into that. So, you know, when there's a solar storm as well, you get a lot more activity, let's say, in the stock market. They usually find that there's jumps in price, that sort of thing. Not financial advice. I'm just saying, you know, based on solar activity, how much energy is hitting our planet. Again, humans are excited by energies from the sun. So trace this all back. You got your 4 interlooping cycles within that and a timeline out all the way to 2044. So what do you see changing in our world right now? It's the same thing I see, and it's on a very specific timeline, and it can be ramroded down everybody's psyches right now because the conditions are perfect for it, and bring in all the new tech and the change of government overseership, throw in a few crop losses, and that is the fingerprint of the civilization cycle. I appreciate you watching. Hope you got something out of the video. Thinking about some preps? Prep with steaks, not beef. Crumbles. Adapt2030beef.com. Use the code CLEANCOWS for 15% off at checkout. And also join us Thursday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight, Civilization Cycle podcast. Studio version, Ransom and myself going live, discussing the issues what we see also, how the world's bending around, and can we see just over the top of the crystal ball. See you next time. Bye for now.